and
Mug.
Ramblin'
Mug.
and what?
And
Mug
hello,
root
ladies,
beer.
gentlemen, and everyone in between.
Yes,
How the heck
Mug.
are you?
Yes.
Who? What? Where?
Sorry, with,
Mug
with
root beer.
yes,
Oh,
Mug.
okay. I don't know that one. Does anybody know Mug
Oh,
Root Beer? Hey, hello, kids.
I do.
I
I
am
do.
indeed Diana Clary and the Lavender Lady, and this is indeed the Open Chat. And we have with us my co-pilot, the one, the only, the brilliant, the beautiful Kate Farr, Bionic Dance. Hello, dear. How are you?
I'm all right, I suppose. It's been a day, mostly of dealing with bureaucracy and shit. Like, you know, when you call up and they say you're on hold and your position in the queue is, and I'm like, oh please, oh please, oh please, and they said 20. I'm like, oh god damn it, 8, and I'm like, oh fuck. You know, so I think I won't be talking to my insurance company today.
Oh, darn it. And then
Uh-huh.
behind the right hand seat, we have in the navigation station our trusty dusty chief engineer, Mom Nato. Hello, honey. How are you?
Engineer, I'm the navigator.
Navigator, chief engineer. Yes,
Yeah.
you fulfill both
Uh,
slots.
I'm tender.
Oh
Uh,
man, because yeah, you had that bit of enameled chewing surface removed, didn't you?
yes, yesterday. It took the dentist 45 minutes after splitting the tooth in half to pull it.
Wow.
And he said, "You have amazingly nice deep roots, except for when it comes for pulling your teeth.
Yeah.
Otherwise, those roots are great."
I mean,
Well,
holy
shit.
crap! In the green room, were you saying something about 2 inches deep?
Yeah, from the top of the crown
Oh, okay, okay.
to the bottom of the root was 2 to 2.5 inches
I'm
in
looking.
length.
I'm looking at my finger right now, and two
Yeah.
inches is about the first two joints. And holy hell,
Yes,
that's a hell of a tooth.
that is. It was amazingly long, and they call them lifters, which is what they use to pry your tooth up, and then they get the extractors, which they use to grab and pull.
Oh,
Well, she tried
okay.
using the lifters, and she couldn't get it to lift high enough because there was still 2 to 3 roots attached.
Mm-hmm.
So she had to get the round drill, which is the little round bit that sits sideways on the drill, and she had to slice the tooth in half and then pull. While after it was sliced, she then pulled one half of the tooth out and then got the other half.
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus.
and she's pushing down and pulling and pushing down and pulling, and it's like, oh, and it wasn't pain, it was pressure.
Okay, yes, yes.
I couldn't feel anything except the
Excuse me.
pressure of her pushing on my jaw. And it's not just on one side, it's on both sides of your jaw
Okay, then.
when it's as far back as that was. And ugh. So I have a little bit of problem opening my mouth when I yawn because it hurts. Um,
Okay,
but
then.
it could be worse. It
Yeah,
could
it
be
could
worse. I
be
no longer
worse.
I don't have an abscessed root. I just have this hole in my jaw. And she ended up putting dissolvable sutures in my gum line.
Oh, yes, that's
So,
pretty standard now, I guess.
yep. And I'm gonna have to go AFK for a few minutes while I go rinse with salt water.
Oh,
With
yes,
my
absolutely. I
yes.
remember that one.
Hmm. I'm just not sure if I can use mouthwash or not, but I don't think so.
Well, most mouthwashes that I remember have
Are gonna burn
ethanol, and
alcohol.
yeah, they burn.
Yes.
Actually, well, I was looking into that, and most of them these days say alcohol free. There's a few that don't, but it's much more
Well,
common for it to be alcohol free.
I
Oh
have a
well then.
Listerine, generic Listerine, so it has the alcohol.
Check the label.
It does. It says on the
Okay.
label, alcohol. So
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Already, honey. Oh my. And okay, it's about time then for Georgia to begin counting votes. This is going to be a really interesting thing.
So what you're saying is that Georgia's on your mind?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Alrighty then.
It's too bad I can't whistle that well. I'd be well. No, no, that's Sweet Georgia Brown. But
I mean,
um,
that's not even my kind of music, but if I recall, that's Willie Nelson is Georgia on my mind.
yes, yes.
Okay. Figured it was either him or Stevie Wonder, and I'm not sure why I was thinking Stevie Wonder.
Oh no, Stevie is a wonder, or was a wonder. He's no longer with us, is he?
Really?
I don't
I
know. I
thought he
thought
was still around.
is
You
he
might be
still
thinking of
around?
Ray Charles.
Well, Ray Charles
I think
died a long time ago. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let's see. Stevie Wonder is still alive.
Okay, I stand correct. Well, I'm sitting here, but I stand corrected nonetheless. Uh,
Yes.
oh my. Oh, Shadow Kitty says it's like having two teeth pulled. Okay, yeah, okay. Oh my. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how the Senate races turn out. I'm hoping that the two Democratic candidates win, not because I'm a Democrat or anything like that, but I just want to see the shenanigans come to something of an end.
Sorry,
Uh,
say that again? The last couple of words?
yeah, I want to see the shenanigans come to something of an end in the Senate.
It'd
Um,
be nice.
yeah, uh, it's not that I'm all that crazy about the Democrats, but what especially Mr. McConnell has been pulling um, is not conducive to good governance. Sorry about that, but that's just the way it goes. Hi, alias fake name. How are you, honey? Oh my,
Yeah.
oh my.
And the fact is that at this point, a lot of the politicians are starting to blur together for me.
Uh huh.
Like I've said this before, and people don't believe me for some reason, but every now and then when someone says either Chuck Schumer or Mitch McConnell, I have to remind myself which one's which.
Uh huh. Yeah.
And I mean, they don't even look that much alike, but they give off enough of a vibe that it's easy for me to say that they look alike, even though it's not literally true. Is that
Uh,
weird?
no, actually, it isn't because I mean, when you get this sort of thing happening, these shenanigans that are going on, you lose track of all of the players. Yeah,
Hmm.
and I
Well, I
mean,
mean, it's like I watch a bunch of news shows on YouTube, and every now and then, like a politician will be mentioned as if we all know who they are, and
yeah,
there's times where I really don't, and I'm like, which, like it took me forever to realize that what's is it Kelly Kerry whatever Loeffler. Like it took me forever to figure out which side she was on. Mind you, I suppose I could have looked it up, but still, it took me forever.
uh huh, yeah, Kelly Loeffler, and then well with Schumer and McConnell, they are in similar positions. So I mean, the
Hmm.
words minority, I mean, the words leader show up. I mean, Schumer being the minority leader, McConnell being the majority leader. So yeah, it's easy enough to confuse. Oh, Shadow Kitty says Georgia on My Mind is a Hoagie Carmichael tune. He also wrote Stardust. I didn't realize that Hoagie Carmichael wrote Georgia on My Mind. I knew about Stardust.
I barely even know who that is.
Well,
Hoagie Carmichael?
we're reaching back into the 30s here when you were talking about Hoagie Carmichael.
Well, I mean, let's put it this way. If you say hoagie, my first thought is a sandwich. But
Mm-hmm.
then if you say Carmichael, I'm thinking, what is that, sort of like the hoagie equivalent of a Reuben?
Oh my. Okay.
Oh, 'cause it's a
Okay.
dude's name. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. I
Oh,
like it. Oh, and that's
Yeah.
something else. Thank you for reminding me. I have brisket in the freezer that's been there for quite a
excuse
while.
me.
Say again?
Excuse me.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Please excuse me.
There we go. And I haven't made a Reuben in better part of a year. I may have to I may have to make a Reuben.
If I remember right, Reuben has something in it that for me is a deal breaker.
For you, just about anything is a deal breaker, honey.
Oh, it is not. It's just that people seem to. I don't know why people love vinegar so much.
Let's see.
I really don't.
Is it the Russian dressing that you don't like? Um,
Oh, I'm looking. No, it's the sauerkraut.
oh, okay, okay.
Well, and the Russian dressing, but mostly the sauerkraut.
Oh man, I grew up on sauerkraut, so what can I do?
Oh,
Josiah,
no,
hello,
Russian
dear.
dressing. It says right here, Russian dressing. The first thing they say, Russian dressing is a piquant American salad dressing consisting of, wait for it, mayonnaise. Ugh.
Yep.
Ugh. Let's put it this way. Okay, the only sauce, condiment, dressing, whatever you want to call it, that I eat that looks even vaguely like semen is Alfredo sauce. So
Oh man, I just bought 3 jars of Alfredo because I want to have it around for making quick and easy stuff, and it amazed me at the non-cheapness of Alfredo sauce out of the grocery store. A pint jar was something like $4. Um, so close to a quarter of my grocery bill that day was sauce Alfredo. I'm gonna have to see what I can do about making sauce Alfredo from scratch. I've not done that before, and I'd like to give it a try just to say that I did it.
what do they call it from scratch anyway? I mean, like I know that there are words that are scratch that mean that, but why?
I don't know. Why is it called from scratch?
See, I would have gone
Oh,
the other way. I would have said, why does from scratch mean from nothing?
all right. According to this, Merriam-Webster, to create something from scratch is to make it without any ingredients or materials prepared ahead of time. The scratch in from scratch originally referred to the starting line of a race scratched into the ground, from which all runners would be
Ah,
starting without a head start. Oh,
well, that makes a certain kind of sense. Okay.
okay. Now, the first thing that came to my mind was chicken feed, but
I, I had a feeling that was where your brain was going to go with that one.
okay. She knows me. I don't know.
All too well.
Oh my, oh
Didn't think it
my.
was that funny, but all right, I'll take it.
I was just thinking, what the hell are we, an old married couple by now?
And okay, which one of us is the bitch?
Shut up, Clarion.
Uh, I wish I could remember the terms that were used, but there was something I saw that was sort of like that, where like a gay couple, lesbian couple, whatever, walks up to like a straight couple and asks them which one of you is the man or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Which one of you is the femme and which one's the butt? Well, something like that. I don't know.
Oh, my.
What?
I probably made
If
her
I
head
run
hurt
away,
even more.
it won't be for. I'll be right back. I will be right back.
And badder than ever?
Hmm.
Well, it's worth a shot. I don't
I
know.
think she's gonna get sick.
Well, I think I'm gonna get twisted.
Mmm. Twisted shout.
You know, I like that song. In fact, I like a lot of those sort of like old
Yeah.
rock and roll type of things. I don't know why. They just have a certain kind of appeal.
Yep. Oh.
I suppose it's just that they are shamelessly upbeat.
Hmm. We're gonna have to mute Diana.
Sorry, what was that?
We may have
Oh,
to
I
mute
hear
Diana.
now. Okay.
Yeah.
There's enough ambient sound in here that
Mhm.
I couldn't hear.
Yeah. Is there a way for us to mute her temporarily?
Nope. I think she has to do it because it's her
Okay. Her
it's her
stream.
show.
Okay. Well, maybe put some music up or something.
Oh, that's pleasant.
Yeah. I have to take my headset off. Just wave when she's done.
Okay. I don't know. I personally I have no real issue with the noise,
All right. Let's go.
but I guess since Diana's away and Mom NATO is currently doing whatever the heck she's doing without the headphones on, so can't hear me. I guess that makes it my show for now, and I'm having a hard time being interesting because okay, I bought a new laptop not too long ago, and I'm right now playing on it because honestly, it's hard to tear myself away from this game, Surviving Mars. So there's that. Eh, whatevs. I don't know what's been going on that's interesting and you people might want to hear about it. Not a lot, to be perfectly honest. I mean, with the whole pandemic thing going on, my social circle is, well, this, pretty much. And,
Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't leave the house unless I have to because it's a giant pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Then, okay, maybe it's not a giant pain in the ass in terms of like getting ready to go out, but then there's the cleansing of
Right.
the hands when you get home. And now it's
Yeah.
like counting the masks to see if I have enough left that I need to order more,
Mm,
whatever. So, I'm going out as little as possible,
possible.
I guess, as
Yeah.
little as necessary. I don't know, whatever. But, uh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I
so.
have been sitting here uh just trying to stay sane. I mean, it's really yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
sanity's overrated.
Well, I rather like being sane though, so oh,
Okay.
okay.
I don't know. I still say it's overrated, but that's just me. I mean, let's face it, in this day and age, in the world we live in now, taking it too seriously, I think, is a recipe for going insane. But taking it
Yeah,
from
there is
starting
that.
from a place of insanity, it all just looks like a big ton of fun as long as it doesn't land on you. Well, I mean, seriously,
Yeah,
like there is
I don't know
something to
about
be
that.
said for fiddling while Rome burns.
Mm. Well,
Just saying.
I have at
Oh,
least a washable
oh my.
mask,
I'm
rewearable.
sorry.
It's okay.
I'm so.
It's all
Well,
right.
Give me a
my
minute.
washable mask sucks. I can't breathe
Yeah.
in it. Like
Yeah.
disposables can totally breathe in a disposable,
Mhm.
but like an actual cloth mask made
Mhm.
out of like material, forget about it.
Right. Hmm.
But yeah, Diana, that was some interesting sound you were making there.
Oh, oh.
Saying.
You might have a migraine, sweetheart.
I'm
That's
sorry.
right. You might have a bit of a
It's
your
okay.
grain. It's not my grain. It's your grain.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I
It's
didn't
okay.
mean it, cause
You're fine. It's fine.
I don't know
We know
what.
you're not feeling well.
Well, I'm
Um.
doing this more and more now, at least once a day.
Mm.
Okay, this may sound like a weird question, but humor me. When
Sure.
was the last time you had any cinnamon life cereal?
I don't think I've ever had cinnamon life cereal.
They've now got
Really?
chocolate life cereal
All
too.
right. When was the last time you had any life cereal?
I would say at least 6 months ago.
Really?
It's been
No, it
it's been
couldn't
a
be
good
because I
long.
remember like it wasn't that long ago that you showed us some mashed up with the glop and stuff. That was like not that long ago.
Okay, maybe it's not as long ago as I was thinking it was because I haven't bought life cereal in a good long time, and I miss
Okay.
it. I was thinking maybe I should buy some, even before you
Well, the
had
reason
mentioned
I
it.
brought it up, the reason I brought it up is because you remember I was telling you that they had it on sale last time I went to the supermarket and I bought some, and I bought some that was regular and I bought some that was cinnamon. Well,
Hmm.
last night, and it may be because I was experimenting with ways to pretend you have milk when you really don't.
Oh boy.
In other words, putting some like non-dairy creamer in water, heating it up, and hoping it's
Hmm.
kind of like warm milk. So it might have been
Okay.
that, but something made me puke last night, and it might have been the life cereal. I don't know which.
Oh my. Okay.
Well,
I'm really
you've got a
sorry.
headache.
Well, no. Here's
You've
the
got a
thing. Here's the thing, honey. I'm really sorry, guys. This is one of the symptoms of my kidney disease. Um,
Ah,
it's to the point now where vomiting has become almost a hobby. At
mm,
least once a day, if not twice.
mm,
And
mm,
I'm not exactly sure what did it this time. It may have been the laughing
I think
that
it was your
triggered it,
coughing.
or the coughing. I'm sorry, because a
Mm,
couple days ago when I went to the grocery store, I walked. It wasn't that far. It was about a mile, and that walking triggered it. Here I am in the
mm,
freaking grocery store, starting to go into dry heaves.
mm.
well, I got to tell you, better drive than wet.
I don't know about that. It feels better. It actually does feel better when I have something to throw up than when I have nothing to
Hmm.
throw up.
And
I
you
don't
feel
know.
so much
I have
better
something to
afterwards.
throw up. There's usually all those stomach acids that come with it.
Strangely enough, it doesn't taste like that.
Mm,
Oh,
Here we are. This is this particular thing here. Here we are talking about my puking, uh,
mhm,
but my body chemistry must have changed significantly with the kidney disease to
mm,
where the acids. Yeah, I don't taste them when they come up.
mm,
hmm. Well, I know I've mentioned before that time that I had nothing in my stomach but water and ended up throwing it up. That was a weird sensation, I have to say, because there was nothing solid. There was nothing formerly solid. There were no like liquids that weren't water, and it was just weirdly unobjectionable, let's say, because it wasn't pleasant by any stretch. But
Uh huh. Yeah, Travis agrees that the dry are more painful. Oh, they are, believe you me. Um, and hello, Pablo. We have a couple new people here. We have Pablo and we have Adam. Great to have you, and I'm sorry that I welcomed you quite this way, but you know what can I tell you? It's good to have you by. Really, it is. But yeah, the interesting thing is when I say take a sip of grape soda, throw it up immediately, and as it's coming up, it's still cold.
that's got to be strange.
That's
Not even the
really
water that
strange.
time was still cold. The water that time was it had been in my stomach long enough to warm up a bit to body temp.
Mm. But yeah, you know what are you gonna do? It's I understand that this comes with the territory. So what are you gonna do? Oh my.
Well, I mean, if it's kidney disease, it'd probably go away if you didn't have kidneys.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I have discussed that, and no, I don't think I want that. I've talked to a lot of people who have either had dialysis or know people who have dialysis, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that doesn't sound like anything fun. I don't. Doesn't sound.
Someone I know from Seattle, from the goth scene, she's on dialysis. She bitches about it like at least daily.
Uh huh.
I mean, like, let's put it this way: I love her to death and everything, but honestly, there's times I want her to shut up. I mean, like, we all go through things, but like, I don't know. I try not to bring up the whole seizures and brain surgery thing unless it's like relevant, unless we're talking about that.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
if every minute all you can talk about is, oh yeah, dialysis today, after a while it seems like you're using it in place of a personality.
Okay. Yeah. I get it. I definitely get it. I was just talking to Purple about this a day or two ago, and he was mentioning somebody he knows that has said, yeah, the days that I have dialysis, I'm not going to be doing anything at all those days. Because you feel so much like shit and everything else.
I don't
So,
even know what the sensation is like. Like, I hear about people going on dialysis, I hear about people with radiation and chemo and all that stuff. And really, all I know about it is you kind of go bald and it doesn't always work. It's like everything I know about chemo and radiation, all that shit. I know nothing about dialysis. Like the sensation of having it happen to you, everyone talks about it being unpleasant, but
uh huh.
I'm,
Explorer had found buried treasure. Research complete.
Okay, you've got some interesting stuff going on over there. Did you complete a quest or something?
research actually.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, we got this like Martian initiative thing going on.
Adam says dialysis is painful. Do you speak from experience on? Um, when I first found out that um, I had chronic kidney disease, this was 2 years ago. Um, I'm amazed I've held on this long. The person I was talking to, when discussing dialysis, had told me, well, you're just going to have to define a new normal. And my first reaction was, wait a minute, I'm supposed to regard this crap as normal?
Yeah, I've felt that way about the pandemic too.
Uh huh.
Like the
Yes, yes.
lockdowns and
Yeah.
everything. Like, that big argument I had with some people that basically drove me the hell off Twitter about like when the pandemic is over, when everyone's vaccinated, we've got the whole herd immunity thing. It's no more danger than regular old flu in terms of whether or not you're going to get it and die from it and all of that stuff. Will you still wear a mask? And weirdly, a lot of people said yes, and decided to really, really, really get on my case for saying, you know what, I'd like to get back to where we don't wear masks. And even the fact that that I conceded the notion that, okay, if you're feeling sick, fine, wear a mask when you go out. But
Mm
apparently, even that wasn't enough. That concession wasn't enough. For some people, I had to say, "Oh yeah, masks should be the norm from now on." I'm just like, I don't want to define that as the new normal.
hmm. I don't.
Walking around with a mask. Like that should be an exception because there's a pandemic. And
Yeah.
the more I think about it, the people that said, no, we should wear masks all the time. I'm sitting there thinking, so you're going to turn us into those clean room mice that can't leave the lab or they'll die because they have no immune system because it hasn't had practice. That's what you're going to
Yes.
turn us into if
Yes.
you make us wear masks all the time. There is a
Mm-hmm.
certain amount of pain you got to go through to be stronger. That's just all there is to it.
I like the thing that Carlin did about giving his immune system practice. The kids
Well,
played
that's
around in
basically
it.
what I just said.
Yeah.
It's just worded differently.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Carlin had an audience to laugh when he said it.
Mm. Well, and that's the thing is like when you're a comedian. Oh hell, that's my mom. Hello, mother. Give me a sec here.
Oh my! Oh my! Oh my! Well, at least
Mm-hmm.
Kate is not in a situation where she dreads getting a call from a parental unit.
Mhm.
Oh my, I used to hate getting calls from those two.
Oh
But,
yeah.
oh well, what are you going to do? What do we have
Mhm.
here? Shadow Kitty says, when we can return to not needing masks, I can resume my former career of teaching and instruments. Oh, yay.
Mm.
I
Yay.
I want I want to join a dojo again. Finally
Okay.
get past high yellow belt.
Mm.
But yeah, that was my mom. She's been desperate to talk for like the last day or two, and
Oh
it's
boy.
just inevitably she's free when I'm not, and vice versa. So, which
Sounds
is
about
Um,
right.
weird given that it's a pandemic. I mean, hell, like how often am I not at home?
Mm.
yeah, there you go. Now, your folks are still in Mexico, right?
Yeah, Oaxaca.
Mm.
And it's likely they're going to be there for quite a while, isn't it? With this
I don't know.
pandemic thing
Well,
going
I,
on.
I don't I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who's going to be there. I mean, for all I know, they're in Mexico. They might get the vaccine way before I do. For all I know, because that like
Mm.
I don't know a lot about Mexico, but I'm pretty sure it's not the dumpster fire that the United States is right now.
Well, I get the feeling that, yeah, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the U.S. Um, Not a fun place to be, but oh well. It's. I was born here. I lived my entire life here. Where else do I go? Nobody else wants me, for fuck's sake. I'm too old. I'm too poor.
Oh, hey, that was cool. Random event gave me a whole bunch of new materials to play with.
Oh boy.
Mm.
Any of them
And
radioactive?
oh fuck, incoming meteor landed and it's okay. Phew, it just barely missed my water storage units.
Oh
So I
my, oh
really
my.
enjoy this game. This game is, which is weird because I've never even gotten very far with it. Because every time I get to a certain point where I overreach and build too many domes, and now nothing can support anything. But that's the thing about this game is you're doing this constant race between like how many jobs are available, how many homes you've built, and how many people you can transport to Mars from Earth.
Right.
It's like this constant fight because it never comes out even.
And I
Mm.
love those games, those resource allocation games. Yeah.
Well, but this one like feels very deliberately designed to be a pain in the ass.
Okay.
Like some of those games, yeah, maybe there's a bit of a challenge. This game, it's like, yeah, I screwed myself over by doing that. So,
Well, thank you, Kitty. I see that Shadow Kitty read one of my tweets. Yeah, he says I would buy you a cottage with a rose garden if I could. That's something I wish I could have, is a little house with a rose garden. I love roses. I know,
please tell
I
me it's
know.
not on a prairie.
No, 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 not on a prairie.
Hmm.
Um, Near a
Oh, my brain
meadow.
just went somewhere horrible.
No, I like green stuff, so meadow. That would be nice.
Hmm.
The meadow
I,
party.
my brain went to living on a prairie. Take my
Okay,
hand,
okay.
I'll make it, I sweary. Anyway, just yeah. Anyway,
My brain went to Bloom County with the meadow party.
mm.
Oh my, oh my. Ivan Rakani. Yay.
Sorry, I should probably turn this off. It's just super addicting.
10-acre farm. That sounds like fun. Yeah, I like it.
Hmm. See, if I want green and I want something to grow, I'll terraform Mars.
Mm.
I don't know. Am I full of shit here? Well, I know. Yes comes in chorus, but I'm thinking that is it not the case that terraforming Mars is not necessarily the best idea because remember, Mars most likely was a lot friendlier than it is now, but lost most of its atmosphere, most of its water, etc., when the magnetic field went away, and solar wind could blow everything away. So if you terraform and you increase the density of the atmosphere, et cetera, isn't that going to get blown away as well? And there's going to be nothing behind it to replace it.
Well, maybe that's part of the terraforming is to do something about that. But even if that's not the case, it doesn't have to be Mars. I'm just saying that, like, okay, I mean, while I'm playing this game, if I have the
Mm-hmm.
terraforming initiatives and all of the different techs researched, eventually I start growing like algae and stuff on this virtual terrain, and looking at that is so much cooler than just looking at Earth. Even though it's like completely fake and everything, I'm sitting there going, "Wow, something's being accomplished here." Where the stuff that's on Earth is just there. It was probably there before I was even born,
Yeah.
and it'll probably be awfully similar when I'm not around anymore. So what's the big fat hairy deal? But I look at just a little bit of green surrounding my dome from all of the seeding that we've been doing, and I'm just like, ooh, something's being done, something's being accomplished. There's an adventure here, as opposed to walking around in nature where it's like, okay, I'm surrounded by bugs and other things that want to eat me, and also things that smell. Whoopida. I don't know. Just saying.
Oh my! Hi, Colleen. How you doing? Yay! Hi, Z. Oh my! We've got all kinds of wonderful people coming aboard here, and it's. I love having every one of you. I really do. It's. I'm going to say it many times before this is over. I'm going to say it many times before I'm dead. But it's great to feel appreciated. Thank you guys, really and truly. Oh
Oh,
my!
who the hell are you? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, you would, wouldn't you?
Well,
Oh,
there's something to be said for good naturedly taking the piss when someone knows there's nothing mean actually in it.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's. I know you wouldn't do that if you didn't love me, right?
Or if I didn't love torturing you. But yeah, sure, why not?
God, I have to watch it so I don't puke again.
Well, I
Oh,
do have that effect on people, especially when it comes to humor.
oh, jeez. Adam says terraforming is possible. However, our technology is nowhere near the level to do things on a grand scale. That is absolutely true. Yeah.
Well, and everyone always talks about how it'll take millennia anyway.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, there goes the neighborhood stools here.
Oh, darn. Ooh.
Yes, my favorite audience members. Oh my word! But
Oh, sweet.
yeah, I remember Sagan would go on about terraforming years ago. Yeah, he was a big advocate of that. Um,
Well, I saw an article not too long ago. In fact, it might have been 2, 3 days ago, where they said this little girl is on track to be the first colonist on Mars, and she's got to
oh,
be like 8, 9 years old or some shit.
yes.
And I'm like, it's hard to picture going through your whole life knowing you're going to permanently leave this planet, and go to an environment that's clearly going to be kind of on the harsh side.
Mm-hmm.
It's just hard to picture accepting that as your fate, even as a child. You know what I mean? Like I'd love to be able to go to Mars, and if I hate it, to come back.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Or I'd love to go to a well-established Martian colony. Not sure I want to be a pioneer.
I've had that thought myself, especially the early one-way trips. It's having that knowledge that there's that place you came from that you're never going to see again, that you cannot go back home. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's a fear generating thing in my constitution almost. I'm afraid of it. Well, I'm afraid of a number of things, but
Well, it's
um,
like, what if something goes wrong? You're pretty darn stranded. What if there's some sort of bitter feud you can hardly storm out?
yep,
It's
yep.
just it's like there are so many reasons why it's a bad idea to be the first person to go to Mars.
Wait a minute,
I
wait a
might be
minute.
the 300th person to go to Mars, maybe.
There you go. Shadow Kitty. I'm struggling here. Pie in ear. Oh, okay. It took me a little while. Okay. I'm slow.
Yeah, we're used to it. Well, I mean, actually, I mean, to be perfectly honest, there are times where I'll say something and there's this long, long, long pause, and I'm like, are you processing? Are you trying to compose your reply? What the hell's going on? You know what I mean?
Usually with me, the answer is yes. Um,
Mm.
oh, Adam says I'd love to be like one of the characters as seen in Ray Bradbury's Martian Chronicles. I loved that. I love that book. I did.
I remember reading it and thinking, wow, another one of those authors who likes to end everything on a down note.
Okay, I'm gonna head off. My jaw is starting to hurt, so
Oh,
I'm gonna go rest. Yeah, I know, but talking too much is making me sore. So
I'd offer to
ah,
kiss it and make it feel better, but you'd probably slug me.
oh, don't make me laugh. It hurts. Ah, but they said that the third day is usually the worst, so we'll see how tomorrow goes. I'm not looking forward to that. So,
Julie! Hello, Julie. All
you
right.
all take care and have a good night, and I'll see you on Sunday.
Okay, honey, be good, okay?
I will. Bye bye.
Oh my. So Julie's
Later.
here. Yay! The place is all nice and bright and everything. It's great to have you aboard. Oh my word. Um, yeah, you just got a new subscriber there, Julie. A new Patreon. Patron. That's what I'm looking for. How do I know that? I don't know.
Maybe because someone went off about it the other day?
Who, what, where, when?
Hey, we had that whole discussion on the last show about the fact that it's patron and not
Oh,
Patreon.
that's
Like the people
true.
who are patrons, not Patreons. But for some reason, people keep saying, "Oh yeah, it's a Patreon." No, it's not a Patreon. Patreon is the site.
Indeed, he does. Yes. See how old I'm getting, and my mind is getting all feeble, and I don't remember crap that happened 48 hours ago. Oh my,
Yeah,
oh
come
my.
on, we all know that you love your decrepitude.
What else have I got? Oh my
Well, you
word, my
know
word.
me, and that is just all you'll ever need.
That's true. That is absolutely true. Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can blame Godless Iowan for that. So I guess he's
You
good
can
for
blame
something.
Godless Iowan for a lot of things.
There we are. Well, so he's good for something. What the hell? Um,
Well, I wouldn't say good for something.
okay.
There is always something. Good is a separate issue.
There we are. There we are. Oh, jeez. It's patronage from patrons to Patreon. Yes, Adam. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is what we do around here. You see what you're getting yourself into? Oh, my.
Well, I love me a good pun, I does.
Oh, my word. We're up to 20. You guys are amazing me. You really are. Oh, God. I am so happy. Thank you. Thank you
Well,
for your support, really.
yeah. They're just here to see me, and you know it.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why I'm here. Oh
Well,
my.
actually, that is a question. I mean, do you think you'd still be doing this if you hadn't had a regular co-host?
It's difficult to say. I do know that I am horrible at flying solo. Um, so,
Well, did I take that the wrong way?
okay. So, yeah, you are a very large part of my doing this on a continual basis for what, a couple of years now. Um, as a regular co-host here, we play off each other, and that keeps the show going. I'm not sitting here. Now there are some guys over on the side chat who have told me that I'm full of crap when I say I suck at flying solo. I have done a couple things by myself, just like testing out the equipment and all that stuff, and I end up running for 2 hours. And you say, "Yeah, you keep telling us you're no good at this, but it's so much better. It's so much better with you around. It's so much better with a second person around." And
Well,
Mom NATO
actually,
as well. Yeah.
I do have a question about like, because you started a solo video with a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't have context enough to understand it. What was this end of an era thing?
Oh, end of an era was when I got the apartment pulled out from under me
Oh,
a couple of years ago.
that
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, you used a bunch of acronyms that I did not recognize, and
Yeah, that's how I ended up here at this place. And that's
what?
where, yeah, the end of an era was when the company in Long Island or whatever the hell it was keeping all the money that was paid to them by Section 8 people and by the tenants, not putting any of it into maintenance or anything. And the places were
Okay,
full.
hold on. Stop, because we're talking past each other here. You
Okay.
said that's how I ended up here in the
Yes.
place you're in now,
Yes.
or
In
in the
this
situation you're in now.
in this physical location.
So when did this happen then? I mean, did you
Um,
move and I didn't notice?
well, we did not know each other yet when I moved.
Okay, hold on a sec. This video I'm talking about was like this morning or yesterday that I saw it. Like it was in my subscription feed. This
Okay,
like
it's
either
it's
this morning or
probably
yesterday.
well. I reissued a film yesterday. Um,
Yes.
yeah, I had originally filmed it a couple of years ago, but with the intent of continuing the series, I reissued the old series because it needed work anyway, and I touched it
Huh.
up a little bit and I edited it, and
Did you re-upload it?
yeah,
That explains it. Okay, see the thing is when you re-upload it, it looks like it's new.
yeah, I had thought of that one, and a couple of people had thought that I was putting up a new series, and what, you moved again? And yeah, it was like,
Yeah, well,
yeah,
that's my confusion right now is the lack of context really made it not incomprehensible, but just bizarre.
yeah, I should have done it a little bit better. Yeah, definitely. There are a couple of more. There are a couple more that are going to go up. They are the films that I made when I was informed of my chronic kidney disease, and you're going to see me in tears on camera. Um, but then after those two are over, it's new ground, and I'm just planning on going. The series is called A Day in a Life for those who haven't seen it yet. And the original intent, and the intent even now, was to let people know that trans folk like me are not aliens. We don't have three heads. We're not radioactive. We're
So what you're
just,
saying is you're boring as fuck.
yeah, absolutely. And just put the boring life up there for everybody to see, and you're just like us, huh? You say, yeah, uh-huh. And take it from there, and hopefully it will help a little bit for people who don't quite understand what's going on with people like me. The impression I get is that there are a large number of people who are, for some stupid reason, afraid of us, especially afraid of trans women.
That is strange. I mean, like I've never understood. What do they think is going to happen?
Most of what I hear and see are people who think that trans women are out to rape their daughters. Yeah, I used that word. They're probably going to shut this down. I don't care. But whatever I see is it's, you men, and they always see us as men, are getting dressed up in order to go into the girls' room and accost the other, the actual girls, as they think of it, who are in there.
So
And
basically, what you're saying is they're picturing something akin to the end of Psycho.
okay, yeah, yeah, and you're just not able to get across to these people. It's the last thing on our minds. We're not crazy. We're not perverted.
Not. You are too crazy.
Well, okay, not that way.
Mm.
This isn't a perversion. This is who we happen to be, and how we
Well,
happen to have
if you
to.
want to look at it a certain way, it is kind of a perversion.
Well,
It's just not perverted.
yeah, it's not the sexual perversion thing that everybody seems to think it is. It's something out of the normal, if you want to call it that, out of the usual. Yes, I understand. I do.
Well, I mean, that is one of the big problems, isn't it? Is getting across to people that what they've been fed by the media is not necessarily the reality. I mean, hell, you talk about me being a lesbian and stuff. I'm sure people have some weird mental images of what happens. I mean, like for example, whenever you talk about anything LGBT, the very first thing people talk about is having sex, intercourse.
Yeah,
There's never, I don't care who someone loves. It's always, I don't care who someone fucks.
Uh
Or
huh.
I do care a great deal, they might say. But it's always what happens in the bedroom. There's never, yeah, well, what about what happens in the dining room, in the living room, in the grocery store? It's not
Yeah.
all about sex.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Did you not say at one time that the classes of people that the class of people who are least inclined to have sex are lesbians?
I mean, yeah, that is traditionally true, and also the folks most likely to move in together way the fuck too soon,
Are
lesbians.
lesbians? Yeah. Well, there's that joke. What does a lesbian bring to a second date? A U-Haul.
A U-Haul. Yep. Yep.
Oh man, it floored me the first time I heard that. My gender counselor mentioned, 2 dates in a U-Haul, and it's like, well, what?
Well, I mean that's one of the things that kind of knocks me out is when I start making lesbian jokes and people are like, "You can't say that. You can't say that." I'm like, "What? I'm allowed to hit my own."
Yeah,
I mean, it's all in good fun, even if it wasn't like me hitting my group. There's no like viciousness to it. There's nothing evil about it. It's like, let's put it this way. I expect the people I'm making fun of to laugh right along with me because that's the kind of thing that like reasonable people do
oh
is
yeah,
laugh with each
absolutely.
other and laugh at themselves. I mean, I'm going to laugh at myself too if the joke isn't cruel.
And to laugh at the stereotypes about which we are joking. Um,
Yeah.
because there is a grain of truth to all of this sort of thing. I mean, you wouldn't have the 2 dates in a U-Haul joke if it didn't happen on a consistent basis. For example.
I try to not make that argument sometimes because it can sound bigoted as fuck in certain contexts. Like, okay, there's this thing that some of my friends who are a little SJW inclined
Mm,
decided, okay, you're not allowed to use like emojis or GIFs or anything else that uses someone who's not from your race because it's, and I quote, digital blackface.
oh
They're
Lord.
saying like a lot of these GIFs portray black women as sassy as hell and all of that stuff. And I mean, maybe they do, but like, I mean, what are you supposed to do? I can't say maybe that comes from reality, because then they'll go, aha, that's racist as fuck. And I'm like, okay, but the stereotype came from somewhere. You
Yeah,
didn't
that's
just
my
make,
point.
and I've known my fair share of people of color who were walking stereotypes just as much as people of whiteness are.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
because there are plenty
Oops,
of white
hang
people who
on.
are walking stereotypes too.
Pulled my cable
But
out.
apparently, pointing it out for one and not for the other, even when it's completely on topic, wow, that's
That's better.
just a bridge too far for some of yous. It's there's no way to deal with any of this. So you can't get fair treatment. I mean, some of those same people I'm talking about, the friends of mine that are very SJW inclined, like it doesn't matter how right you are, it doesn't matter how reasonable your argument is. If you don't agree with them and agree with them in the right way, because I've been blasted for agreeing with someone but putting things in the wrong order when I did it or something. It was so fucked up.
Research complete.
Or even if I'm just offering a little bit of criticism, if I don't start the criticism with, I agree with everything you said, but here's another way to possibly do it. All of a sudden I'm the bad guy if I don't pad all of the corners and sand off all of the rough patches.
Uh
Like, it
huh.
doesn't matter how right I am, they're not going to accept it because it didn't come the right way.
Ox, hello, dear. How are you?
So
Good to
I don't
have
know.
you
It's
here.
just it's weird. Like, you try to say to someone, like maybe that stereotype has some basis in reality, and it turns you into a villain.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Let's see
just so
what
much bullshit.
Kitty has to say here. In my area, which Asbury Park. Oh, do you often go ski balling with God? By the way, but that's another story entirely. It's the norm to see trans persons out and about in the community. There's room for everyone. Means there's room for me too. And the Pride festivals are fun. Um, I don't know. I've kind of lost my enthusiasm for the Pride festivals here in Pittsburgh. They've become a little bit too corporate for my taste. The first Pride
Yeah,
festivals I remember from, say, 12 years ago, let's say, uh, were a lot more fun to me than the stuff that we had, just a couple of years ago. But that's just me, you know?
well,
Um,
I mean, I understand what it's like when something gets too big. I mean, you go to a pride parade or something, and there'll be like it's not even a float. It's just a bunch of people walking with an AT&T banner with a rainbow flag on it.
yes,
And it's like,
yes.
really, really, that's it? I mean, I'm glad AT&T is in support of the LGBT community, or at least pretends to be, but really, and it was actually the same thing with the solstice parade. It was more fun when there was like 10, 12, 20 of us doing the bike ride. Now it's like a couple hundred people, and it's just, I don't know, it lost some of the fun. It's kind of like when Pride got so big that they had to move it off of the hill and downtown instead. Because on the hill, I mean, Capitol Hill is basically Seattle's neighborhood,
Okay,
and
yeah.
so it made sense to have Pride there. But it got so big that they had to start holding it downtown. But it got big because all these corporations wanted to use it as free advertising.
Mm-hmm. Von Rick has a very good point. The problem
Hmm.
is that most stereotypes were not created by looking at society and reflecting on it. They were set up to be derogatory, which is why they encompass things these people found sin/shameful. Yeah, you do have a very good point there. Find a reason to not. Well, you already don't like somebody. Find or something to blame it on, and then turn that into a stereotype. I get it. Uh huh.
Well, the problem with that though is, like, I can find I've looked up a bunch of stereotypes like that, and a lot of them do have a basis in reality. Even if the stereotype itself was built to be derogatory, it doesn't change the fact that like it came from somewhere. It wasn't just made up in a vacuum.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, it may be derogatory, but that doesn't make it any less true.
Mm-hmm. And I
You
see.
know, I mean, again, it's like the whole U-Haul on a second date thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've been there, I've done that, and while I may not find the joke offensive or insulting, I'm sure there's a lesbian out there somewhere who does. So someone who thinks, "Oh my gosh, you can't make fun of us! You're punching down. Everyone run around with your hair on fire protesting." You know, I'm sure there's someone like that, but for the most part, I mean, what I'm saying is I recognize where it came from. It has a basis in reality. And I looked up a bunch of fairly racist stereotypes. I know we discussed it before. The whole thing about black people liking watermelon does have a basis in reality. It was like one of the few things that they could sell on roadsides after being liberated from slavery.
Yeah.
And so it became associated with black people and thus became a stereotype. And that stereotype may be mean, but it came from somewhere. You know, I
Interesting
mean,
the
I was
way
like,
interesting the way our minds work. I was just thinking about that one. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I got curious once. I'm like, I've known a lot of black people. None of them seem to really give that much of a shit about watermelon, but I hear this stereotype all the time. Where did it come from? Typity, typity, typity. Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I remember the references in the Our Gang movies to that sort of thing.
mm,
What was the what was the boy's name? Buckwheat,
buckwheat.
sitting there.
Yeah, I remember that. I wish I had a
That
watermelon. He had
one,
some like
yes.
magical
Mm-hmm.
thing, and this one dude would roll a watermelon towards him, and he thought his wish was granted by magic. I
Yep,
remember that
that
episode.
one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my,
Yeah.
oh my.
Of course, no one I know ever actually called them our gang. It was always the Little Rascals. Where did our gang come from?
I'm not sure. I am not at all sure. It's long enough ago that I cannot remember the construction of the association.
Hmm. Well,
But
it's kind of like most people say Charlie Brown instead of Peanuts.
absolutely true. Yes.
So I
Yeah.
don't know. It's weird like that.
Because when I was growing up, I always heard Spanky and Our Gang. Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I was introduced to it by my parents, and they called it the Little Rascals.
And I
It's
believe,
weird how a lot of like black and white comedy ended up getting introduced to me at the same time. Like Abbott and Costello. I don't think Laurel and Hardy came up much, and they made me watch some Charlie Chaplin, but I wasn't into it.
okay. Okay, now here, here we go. The font of all knowledge. I looked up Little Rascals and I got moved over to Our Gang. And what they have is Our Gang, also known as Little Rascals or Hal Roach's Rascals, is an American series of comedy short films. So I guess it was originally Our Gang and somehow became Little Rascals. Okay.
Hmm. Well, I mean that happens from time to time. Like, okay, like I can explain why this one happened, but back in the 80s, I don't know if you remember it or not, there was a show called Valerie, with like, I want to say Valerie Harper, not Bertinelli, although they might even be the same person, just naming them.
Yeah,
But
now
the
I.
thing is, there was some weird dispute, and they ended up killing off Valerie. And then Sandy Duncan comes in as the new mom figure, and they renamed the show Valerie's Family, and then eventually the Hogan Family because their last name was Hogan. And it just like the show had to be renamed because they kicked off the main character and decided to keep going with it.
Okay, then.
So you know there's some precedent for shit getting renamed for one reason or another.
Ox, I am totally in agreement with you. Soul food isn't racist. It's just damn good chicken. Yep.
Well, okay, that's one thing I've never really understood is when people object to cultural appropriation. Because I'm sitting there thinking, that means someone likes you, that they want to be more like you.
Uh huh.
That means that you've got a way in or out or whatever you want to call it, where you have an opportunity to make some allies. Losing your crap because someone else is like making the kind of music or wearing the kind of clothes associated with your particular ethnicity or whatever other group. I mean, unless you're using all of that is some sort of signal to tell people, hey, guess what I am? Well, let them have it and take some of their shit too. Let us all sort of integrate with each other so that we don't have to pick and choose what we like or don't. Like if you're not allowed to like something because you were born the wrong color, that's full of shit. Just as full of shit as anything else involving race.
I would be thrilled were you to decide that you liked chicken paprikash, for example, and I don't see that happening.
Well, that's because of the ingredients people use. I mean, ew. But I mean,
Oh,
there's a lot of. Well, I mean, what if someone decided to get on my case because I really dig on certain kinds of Asian cuisine? What if someone said, "You can't have that. You're not from India." I- I'd be like, "Fuck off. I can have
absolutely.
whatever the fuck I want."
Hmm.
But
Oh
now,
my. Okay, Mage says I think cultural appropriation is bullshit. Okay. Hmm. Julie says my grandma made amazing soul food. She was white, but it didn't hold it against her. I like that. She did a mean shrimp boil. I love shrimp. Shrimp are tasty. Shrimp are yummy.
I don't grok the appeal of seafood.
Well, for most of my life, I've been on a seafood diet. I see food and I eat it.
Waka waka. No, seriously, like I wish I could explain the quality it is that makes fish taste weird, that makes anything seafood taste weird, but there is something about it. I don't care for it.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I really wish I could explain it. I don't have taste words,
Uh
like if
huh.
it's not spicy or bitter or acrid or sweet or sour or any of those, I don't have the words for it. Oh, hello, Columbia. No, you don't get to be the laptop. I already have a laptop.
Oh, you horrible person being mean to the kitty.
Uh, I suppose I could shut down the game. Darn it. You people making me like actually interact with you
Research complete.
undistracted.
Well, growing up on a lakeshore, um, I know fish, freshwater fish, from before I could before I could remember things. So I guess that explains a lot of it for me. Um, so,
Yeah, but I grew up on Lake Champlain. It didn't help. Maybe it's because like the wharf near like downtown Burlington kind of stank of rotten fish. And honestly, like fresh fish doesn't smell all that different. It's just
okay,
less strong.
um, because if there was anything I most dearly loved, it was having a dinner of fish that I had caught that afternoon.
Ugh, that's something I definitely don't care for because, well, it inevitably leads to bones.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never had fish that someone else caught where you didn't end up removing a bit of a rib from something
Oh yeah, yeah,
while you were eating it.
yes, yes. Mm-hmm. I know exactly
No
where you're coming
thanks.
from.
No
Um,
thanks.
but I remember going out to my uncle's onto the lake, hauling the fish into the boat, um, and then in the backyard of the cottage, we had the picnic table set up and everything. We're scaling the fish, we're filleting them, that whole thing. Yeah, that was something I have fond memories. Let's put it that way.
Hmm.
Uh huh. Yeah, Mage. Yeah, I know it.
I have some very different memories of my grandparents. Like, okay, I remember Reynold, my mother's stepfather, had this, like, I guess it was his man cave, I suppose, but it was like the attic of the house, and it looked like a stereotypical sort of old person's den. Like, all it really needed was the head of a deer on the wall. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I remember watching TV in that room while he was reading in a chair, smoking a pipe that honestly smelled really good. It was like a very sweet smell rather than some sort of like the nasty smell that comes off of a cigarette,
Uh
and
huh.
even worse,
Yeah.
a cigar.
Yeah.
Didn't smell like that. It smelled sort of like cloves before they made the sweetened version illegal. Um, and that's one of my more pleasant memories of my grandparents, is just watching TV with that smell.
That was her stepfather, the female slimy bastard's stepfather, would sit in the chair with the pipe, which smelled really, really, really good. Had I forget what the material was from which the bowl was carved, but it's the stuff that over time gained that yellow color as you smoked it, as you broke it in, as seasoned it, or whatever you want to call it. And his tobaccos were not the best smelling tobaccos I'd ever known, but they were better than the cigarettes that he did also smoke. Let me tell you, I sometimes wonder how the hell I ever got started on cigarettes, but it's another story entirely.
Well, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't know how anyone ever had a second cigarette. The first one was unpleasant enough, and I never finished it, to make me go, why would anyone do this to themselves? This sucks. I want nothing to do with it. And to be perfectly honest, there is no stigma to not smoking unless there's peer pressure. If
Yeah.
if you walk around and just, someone offers you a cigarette, nah, I don't smoke. It's okay. You know? As long as it's not like kids at school or whatever.
I'll tell you, the nice thing is that I get to smile anymore when I'm constantly barraged with, can I bum a cigarette? No, I don't smoke. And it's like, oh man, I used to get that all the time. Somebody was always trying to bum a cigarette from me, and you end up giving away more than you smoked, or you ended up being an asshole, and telling them to get away from me. Um,
Hmm.
but now I have an
Yeah,
excuse. It's like I don't smoke, kids. Oh well.
it's kind of like, I mean, it doesn't seem to happen nearly as often as it seems to happen to my smoker friends, but asking someone to bum a tampon, or someone else asking to bum a tampon, that happens. That's definitely a thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And I mean, as a non-smoker, closest I can get.
Okay then. Um.
Just
Uh,
say,
yeah, but does it happen like 5 times a day?
well, no.
That's the difference. Oh, okay. So Shadow Kitty smokes non-filters. Alrighty then. Ox quit 7 years ago. I quit something over 2 years ago. I had smoked for 49 years, and finally put the stuff down. And there were several reasons that I did. One of them being that my voice was totally shot. It sounded horrible. My throat felt horrible. Um,
I'm picturing Harvey Firestein now.
okay, I know the name
You know that
kind of.
voice. Oh, you it. Okay. Big fella, salt and pepper beard, gay as a purple tomato.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up. Because I know the name. I'm not pulling up the voice.
Um, well, let's put it this way. He's the sort of guy who would say doll face just to sound,
Okay then.
it's like, how you doing, doll face? I can't do it, but you know. Hold on. So the chat window is too big and I can't get present now. A window. There we go. There. That right there. That's Harvey Firestein. And
Moof
also,
beef.
I have an older picture.
Yeah, I guess that would be an older picture, wouldn't it?
Did you ever see Independence Day?
Yeah, I did.
because he was in the scene. He was like one of the guys with Jeff Goldblum. Here, let me pull up a picture.
Okay.
There he is in Independence Day.
All righty.
Yeah, where's the one where he's actually? Oh yeah, there's the one with Jeff Goldblum. Of course, it's watermarked, but whatever. Who cares?
Moo.
Bada bing. There, see Jeff Goldblum up here, Harvey Firestein here. Anyway, let's see.
Whenever I hear that name, I think of Harvey Firestone, so I have to get
Oh,
myself
not
back
Harvey
in it.
Weinstein.
No, yeah, for some reason Harvey Firestone comes to my mind all the time. I remember the old Firestone commercials.
Oh, right, those commercial or the tires.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, my brain was going to Harry Blackstone.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I mean, this looks like it's just him ranting, but
All my ways, repentance in the light and made a switch drew you, and I fortunately know a bit of magic. It's a talent that I always have possessed. And here lately, please don't laugh, I use it on behalf of the miserable, lonely, and depressed, pathetic, poor, unfortunate.
right. Anyway, so you can hear that voice.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like someone that smokes, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I
Yeah.
sounded, believe it or not, I sounded worse than that.
Okay, hold on. Let me get, because I'm pretty sure he's the one who dubbed the voice for Lily in How I Met Your Mother when she was when she had the smoker voice. No! Don't do the music. Okay, here we go. Maybe this.
Actually, maybe my throat's a bit sore. Hey,
Hold on. Let me see if I can share this with sound. I think that's actually something you can do.
I never got it to work, but maybe you've got the magic.
This. Hold on. Let me try a tab instead of a window. Present now. A tab. Yeah, that one. Yes, and it shares audio. All right. Tell me if this works.
Actually, maybe
Yeah,
my throat's a bit sore.
I'm hearing it.
Hate that little bastard. Me too. You're quick with doll face. I know I don't normally call you doll face, but it kind of works in this voice. Doll face.
See what I mean? Doll face. That's why I was going off about doll face.
Okay then.
But you hear that voice. It sounds for all the world like Harvey Firestein, doesn't it?
I'll take your word for it.
Well, you heard me play his voice on that other thing.
Yeah, okay.
Hell, I can just look it up. How I Met. Yep, there it is. Lily's smoking voice. Doesn't say the season and episode. Here we go. Season 5, episode 11. And yeah, it was Harvey Firestein.
Okay then. Oh my. Yeah, I'm amazed, Julie. At I really don't have cravings anymore. Every now and then, when I'm under stress, I will crave a cigar. But
Wow, a cigar, a full-on cigar, not just like a cigarette.
I haven't smoked cigarettes in a very long time, at least 20 years. Yeah,
But I mean, a cigar smells like a literal dumpster fire. Like if a dumpster was on fire, that's the way I think a cigar would smell.
okay.
They're so gross. I mean, maybe it was a low quality cigar that people were smoking around me, but it honestly, it smelled the way I think licking a car tire would taste.
Okay.
It was just ugh.
The cherry cigars is what I used to smoke.
Cherry?
Yeah, cherry tobacco.
You're gonna have to be more specific because that could be taken multiple ways.
Well, it was tobacco with a cherry flavor added to it.
Okay, because it wouldn't have shocked me to discover that there was some kind of tobacco that you could make out of cherry stems or some fucking shit
Oh,
like that.
okay,
I
I
don't know.
got you. Yeah.
So, or maybe it was like grown using fertilizer made from cherry leaves or something. I don't know.
Oh,
Like,
Lord.
because they're like, you remember when I bought that lime Bud Light, hoping that it would taste like lime beer,
I
and it turned
remember.
out that it was brewed with lime peels in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really didn't taste like lime at all, and I was kind of disappointed. And so if someone said, "Oh yeah, cherry tobacco," I'd be like, "Wait a minute, I want to see the fine print on this."
Okay. Yeah, because I started with cherry pipe tobacco because I smoked a pipe for a long time as well, and
Hmm.
then when the cigarettes became extremely expensive, is when I started rolling my own, and when I also started smoking those cigars that you would get five in a box. Um,
See, you say rolling your own, but to be perfectly honest, I like buying the ones that are already pre-made myself. This right here, I mean, it's CBD, it's not THC, but it
okay.
was rolled for me, so you're
Oh
still there.
my. Yeah,
Oh,
we're
there we
still
go.
there. Shadow Kitty says I would love
There
to
we go.
smoke a
My
pipe
word.
again.
Hmm. When it's not THC, it does not smell quite so stinky.
Oh, okay.
I guess it's the get you high part that smells like a skunk.
Hmm. I did not know that.
I hadn't actually opened that since I got it. I didn't intend to have it. Like I said, I went in to replace the vape battery, the vape pen, and the guy there's like at the CBD store said, "And customers get this business card and one of these," and he hands it to me. I'm like, "Okay, sure, why not?"
Okay.
you know, uh, I doubt I'll ever even smoke it because I don't smoke. I just vape.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? I mean, my mom told me she's using the stuff now, like just the CBD, not the THC. She
Okay.
might want it. I don't know when I'll be able to give it to her. Do you think pot goes bad?
Yes, it does.
Hmm. Well, then maybe I should use it myself, I guess. I don't know. They
I
said it'll relax you. That's all they said about it.
I do not know what its shelf life is, and I don't know the conditions under which one wants to store it. Because I'll tell you, I never had it around long enough to worry about that sort of thing when I was smoking pot. This was a very long time ago. Well, not all that long ago, but
Hmm.
I
Whoa. Sorry, I was looking it up. It seems that well, if stored correctly, CBD flower has roughly a 2-year shelf life.
it's longer than I thought. Okay, because
Longer than I thought.
I was thinking maybe a year, but okay, 2 years. That sounds good.
Yeah. Although, I mean, it didn't flat out say cigarettes, so which that surely is. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yes, of course I'm over 21. And even if I wasn't, I'd lie. So fuck off with your age gate.
Uh huh.
Ugh. Let's see. This one right here does not actually seem to say shelf life.
Well, thank you, Adam. Thank you.
Oh well. What? Oh, here. No, that's effects. Never mind. Let's see. Can CBD cigarettes help you quit smoking? Kind of looks like it.
Oh man, it wouldn't help me. I tried all that crap, the smoking substitutions and everything else. And no, no, no. I had to put it down and say, no more Clarion. That's it. Um, I'm amazed I
Hmm.
was able to do it. But yeah, that was
Oh
mhm.
no, go on.
That was 5 August 2018.
Hmm. Well, it occurs to me, even if I wanted to use that, I'd have to like light it on the stove or something. I don't think I have a lighter.
Oh,
Oh,
come on over. I still have a bunch of lighters here left over from my
I
smoking days.
definitely don't have an ashtray.
There, well, actually, I have a couple ashtrays I regard as souvenirs. So, okay. There's one from
Not
a.
a not a souvenir nose, not a souvenir chin, but a
No, but a
souvenir.
souvenir. Yep.
Sorry, that I know if I didn't make that joke, you eventually would have.
There's one I have
So,
from a resort in western Michigan. One of the Jewish resorts in that area. It was called Fiddleman's. Um, I don't know how the hell I ended up with the darn thing, but it does bring back some memories of that place, good memories. And there's another one I have from a tire store back in the town I grew up in. Um, it even has the letters. You know, now you have the phone numbers that have all numbers, but this thing had the two letter exchanges.
you've completely lost me. I have no idea what the frick you're talking about.
You know, like the phone number I had when I was very small uh, is still in use today. It's 884-1635, and no one's there to answer the phone, by the way. But when I
Eight
was,
six seven five three zero nine.
there
What?
you go. But when I was very young, it was TU4-1635.
I remember people. Well, okay, I wasn't around for that. That stopped being a thing probably before I was born.
Probably,
But
yeah.
I've consumed enough media where people say like every time someone would do a 555 number, it was always KL5 in the movies. You know,
Okay, yeah.
but you have to watch some pretty old timey shit to hear people say that.
And some of
I
that,
wonder, why though? I mean, why not just say the numbers?
I don't know exactly how that exchange system started. It's very old. Um, you know, we're talking around World War II here when you had that system put into place. But I
Hmm.
remember even after you were using numbers all the time, there were still some businesses that used the letters because that's what people remembered. So there was a particular business with Garfield 12323. They did home siding and
Thing is, it sounds like a robot though. You know, like KL573. Go fix that moisture evaporator.
there
You know
you
what I
go.
mean?
Yeah, uh huh. Or a ham, as far as that goes, a ham radio.
Okay. Ham radio just sounds like a pig on a radio.
Wink.
Well, I'm saying, you know. But oh wow, Wikipedia actually has a list of recommended central office names. Like numerical prefix 22X, they have Academy, Baldwin, Canal, Capital, and Castle.
Okay.
And then 23X, Adams, Belmont, Beverly, Cedar, Center, Central. Interesting.
Moo.
There's only a
Oh,
few that don't have a vowel as the second one, though, like 47X, Granite, Greenfield, Greenleaf, Greenwood, Gridley or Gridley, I don't know, and Grover. So, yeah,
so
how odd.
I'm not the only one around here who remembers party lines, eh, Ox?
I remember those back when my parents and I lived way the frick out in the boonies. We had a party line with some of our neighbors, like three of
Okay.
them.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I remember picking up the phone in order to make a call, and then there was a call in process already. So it's, oh, okay, I'll do this later. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, I was less than 5 years old the last time I encountered a party line, but so I don't really remember too well picking up the phone, going, "Oh, someone's already talking," clicking, or being on the phone and having someone pick up their phone. I'm sure you'd hear the click of
Oh,
someone
yes, you
picking up
would.
their don't.
You would.
So, I mean, I don't remember any of that. I just remember we had a party line.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, kitten. Oh my gosh. She just tapped me on the shoulder, like literally bit, and I wasn't expecting it. And wow, scared the hell out of me, kitty.
I don't know. Some people's kittens is. So you've got that over there, and I see a tail going over on the tree by the door. Kitty just moved.
Oh yeah, there's Xander. And wow, those two are looking at each other like they're about to pounce. They're clear across the room from each other. Now Xander's doing the chittering thing, but that probably has an official name too, the chittering.
Yeah, but
You know what I'm
whatever
not.
I know the one you're talking about, and I don't know what it's called either. No, the little one does that all the time. In the mornings, she'll sit by the window, and she sees something out there that I don't see. But she's doing the whole chittering thing and making ready to kill it.
Hmm. Well, according to this,
Oh, so there's
people
Hillary.
call it chirp or trill, but that's not right because this isn't an expression of happiness. I should type in when hunting. When hunting and see what happens. Oh, fine, chatter. Whatever. I think of it as chitter, but whatever. But apparently it's called chirping or twittering. Okay. Didn't know cats were on Twitter, but all right.
Yeah, there's Sir Edmund Hillary just climbed the chair by you.
Yeah, I think you mean Peter Parker.
Okay. Man, I forget. I almost forget what it's like to have the multiple kitties around.
Well, it's nice. They're getting along a lot better than they used to. I mean, they still take swipes at each other, but right now they're about a foot apart and pretty okay with it.
Yay!
I'd show you, but I also don't want you to see any more of what you've already seen about how much of a wreck this place is.
Oh,
Well, I'm sorry, but it is. I'm not one who cleans very often.
can't look
I
that much.
find it gets in the way of all the other things I'd rather be doing.
Can't look that much worse than this place looks. I mean, I've been trying to clean up a little bit here. Well, organize. Let's put it that way. I just put a few things in the bedroom away, and it's when the meat wagon pulls up, from the coroner's office, and they come in and take the body out. I don't necessarily want anybody tripping over anything and damaging themselves. You know how that goes.
Well, I'm not sure how much is going to be left anyway. After all, she is going to eat you before anyone notices the smell.
That's true. That's true. Mm-hmm. Oh my! Oh my! Wait a minute, Adam.
Sometimes I wonder about that. I mean, like if I were to keel over for one reason or another, how much would you two manage to eat before they figured it out?
Now, to be serious, that is something that gets on my mind from time to time.
Like George.
Yeah, pretty much. When I finally keel over dead, I'm not going to be worried about it. There's going to be no me to worry, but there's going to be Sylvia, and how's she going to get along? There's going to be you folks out there on the interwebs. I don't know. Maybe I think a little too much about that sort of thing, but how many of you are going to be sitting around and where the hell is Clarion? What the hell happened to her?
Well, to this day, there are a couple of YouTubers I wonder about. I have found out one of them did indeed die, and that's why he disappeared. But, there have been a couple who just disappeared because they whatever lost interest or something. I only can name the one who disappeared, and eventually we found out he was kind of on the dead side. That's Happy Cabby. Years before your
Okay.
time. I don't know
Yeah,
him.
I don't know that name.
Yeah, he was pretty nice, a little weird, but like in a way that could be interpreted as creepy. But he was still a
Okay.
pretty nice guy, and I do miss him and think about him from time to time because, like I said, nice fella. I considered him a friend. He seemed to consider me one. So
Yes, and then Julie mentions Bullionator. Um, we lost him recently. Um,
I know. Yeah, that's right, DPR Jones. Yeah.
yeah. Now they had people to discover them, and here it would be a hell of a long time before somebody discovered, my corpse. And as you've said, Kate, it's that probably knows me. So that would be really interesting. As Hamlet put it, that would be very interesting. The landlord would probably be very, very pleased.
Oh, I can't find a good picture of Happy Cabby. But here's what I got.
Okay, then.
That was before he grew his beard out a little too far. So, yeah. But no, he's kind of on the dead side. A couple of years now.
Oh my
You know they're
my.
making Foundation into a web series. The Asimov books.
I was going to ask if that's what you meant. Oh, jeez. I hope they.
Yeah.
I hope they don't kill it.
Well, I'd say it was already killed, to be perfectly honest, because it's not at all character driven, that series. So I mean, the only way to really make it, and stay true to the book would be as sort of like a documentary style bit of fiction.
Okay. Okay.
Because, well, either that or they'd have to really bastardize the fuck out of it to have some continuity from character to character. Because, I mean, let's say when I was reading the first book, it was like a bunch of stuff would happen. There'd be a bunch of characters, and I'd be getting to know them the way I do with every other character I read. And then the next chapter is 300 years later. And the next chapter, another 500 years later, then 1,000 in the future. And it's like, okay, if you're going to kill off your characters every chapter, what the hell's the point? It was like there was this other book I was reading called The Crucible of Time, and they spent like 5 chapters on this one old wise dude on this alien planet who was like imparting his wisdom and figuring stuff out. And then after like 5 chapters, he's dead, and it's 1,000 years ago, and he's this legend that set everyone free or some shit. And I'm like, but I was just getting into that guy, and you suddenly time warp me up a couple thousand years. Why? It's like you might as well have started there. Because
Okay.
everything that happened now, it seems utterly pointless. Even if it's like 1,000 years later, all this stuff happened. Even if it's one of those like the oh, I'm watching it from 1,000 years ago, and look how much they got wrong because I have the inside story, but now the legend has grown and changed the way legends often do. How interesting! And it's it's like one of the reasons I keep watching Star Wars is for the characters, not just the situation, not just the special effects, but because, you got Han, Leia, Chewie, the droids, all of those folks going from one movie to another movie to yet another movie. And it's like there's that continuity and they get to be like old friends. You can't do that with Foundation. So,
Okay then.
you know,
No. Okay. When it comes to Asimov, I do like his essays.
okay.
The stuff that used to go into the science fiction magazines or whatever. Um, but I haven't read much of the fiction. I have read The Gods Themselves. What the heck? I have not read Foundation. I have not read iRobot. Um,
That's one I should probably give a try. I mean, that one at least probably doesn't jump around in time as much, so maybe we get to know the characters better.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I shouldn't give up on Asimov entirely, but I gotta say, Foundation really soured me on the guy.
Hey, he was a big sweetie.
All right, I don't know. One thing I did pick up recently, and it's not Asimov, or is it? I want to say it's Clark, actually. Rendezvous with Rama. I'd read it years ago in high school, and I remember liking it. So,
Yeah, let
you
me
know,
make sure, but I think that was Clark.
well, it's really easy to mix those guys up. Like there was a certain era of people where you say the name and I have to remember which one's which. And it's mostly just, okay, was that the one who wrote 2001 or not?
Yeah,
But yeah,
that.
it's Arthur C. Clarke, says right here, Rendezvous
Yeah.
with Rama. Fun series. I know I read the second one. I don't know if I got past that, but the basic idea, big honking object turns out to be an alien spaceship going through the orbit of Earth and is probably going to keep going. So people go out to explore it before it can get away.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like the second one, oh, hey, it came back, or is it a different one? We don't know. It's, I don't know. But like they get inside it. It's this gigantic arcology. It was really kind of interesting. I liked it. I actually, it was funny because when I mentioned it on Facebook, someone said, "Oh, Kate, that book is really slow. You're not going to like it." I'm like, "Dude, I already read it. I remember enjoying it." So I think some people don't really get my tastes, actually.
Oh my! Another fun one was the short story that Clark wrote, the 9 billion names of God.
Mm.
Um, I mean, there are probably a lot of people who are just going to say it's so cliche and the whole bit, but it was pretty. You had explorers going up a mountain, finding a monastery where the monks therein were collecting all the names of God, and then when they had all of them, the world would end.
Okay, that sounds stupid. I mean, what, collecting the names of God. I mean, A, that assumes that God is real, but two, that assumes he goes around with like secret identities all the time. As well, what?
Well, maybe one of those names was Clark Kent. I don't know.
Whoa, or James Bond, but seriously, like I don't get. I honestly do not understand the premise.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it was Clark smoking something. I don't know.
Well, but I mean, I still have probably like, are they saying that a god is real? And that's they're actually going around collecting this dude's names?
I guess you
I
could
mean,
read.
what's that mean?
I guess you could read that into it.
Well, but that's what you said. If there's more, or if it meant something other than the literal thing you said,
Okay,
please let me know.
it's a little bit different than I had explained it, but not that much different. The first paragraph. This is a slightly unusual request, said Dr. Wagner, with what he hoped was a commendable restraint. As far as I know, it's the first time anyone's been asked to supply a Tibetan monastery with an automatic sequence computer. I don't wish to be inquisitive, but I should hardly have thought that your establishment had much use for such a machine. Could you explain just what you intend to do with it? And then it goes on from there. You have later on, it says, it's really quite simple. We have been compiling a list which shall contain all possible names of God. So what I guess they're doing is, whether or not a God exists, there are people who believe in God. And those people were collecting the names. And then spoiler, big fucking deal. At the end of the book, it turns out that when they have collected all the names, the lights start going, the lights of the city start going out. How did they.
Why? How is that explained in any fashion?
Oh, I'm sorry. The stars were going out. That's it.
Okay. because a bunch of people managed to collect some census data on deities, the world starts to end?
Yeah. Hmm.
Why?
I guess because Clark thought that the story would have a nice twist to it if that was the ultimate
Yeah, I mean,
answer.
what in universe reason was there for it?
You give me a hard time for looking at the real stuff.
Well, no, I mean, seriously, like, because one of the things that can kill a sci fi series is a lack of internal continuity. So if there isn't an explanation, if it's just the author going because I said so, then that's a bad book.
Well, I don't know where in the short story to find it. It's a short story, and it is a short story, but it's still a little too long to look for it on air here, where the explanation is offered by the Tibetan monks.
Okay. It seems to me like if you were going to remember anything from this story, it would be that, but all right.
Well, I remember the ending. You know, the stars going out. Well, I remember the lights of the city, but it turns out to be stars.
Okay. I don't know. It sounds dippy to me. I mean, unless there's a good explanation for why the stars would go out because names were collected, it sounds terrible.
Uh, the 9 billion names of God, Von Rick.
Well, Wikipedia is not one to spare the spoilers, so let's see.
Move beef.
Ah, operators are skeptical, play long, 3 months, job nears completion, fear that the monks will blame the computer, and by extension its operators, and nothing happens. Westerners delay the operation to the final. Okay. After their successful departure of the puzzle, that's it. That's it. It doesn't explain anything more than what you said.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought they had explained what was going to happen. I guess not. It's been a shit long time since I've read that story.
Well, the thing is, like, along with Clark and Asimov, another name that keeps coming up from like the same group of people, Ray Bradbury.
Oh yeah.
Ray Bradbury absolutely loved the end up in hell ending. You know, like
Oh
he
yeah.
rarely had a happy ending to any of his books or stories. And as a result, he's one of my least favorites. This sounds like something he would have written just from the premise.
I could imagine these people, you know, that you're naming right now are all sitting in a room somewhere, throwing story ideas back and forth. Would have been
That's
about
a
the
little
right.
too afterlifey, but okay.
Well, no, would have been about the right time. Uh,
Oh, you mean not now, but back then?
back then, yeah, you know,
Sorry,
little.
the way you said it, it sounded like they were in some room made of clouds with harps and shit talking sci-fi with each other.
No, this is mid 50s as far as 9 billion names of God goes. So yeah, I could just see them sitting around drinking and talking about stories and shit. Yeah.
Well, whether they were or not, it's still like I said, Bradbury loved his unhappy, give you nightmares endings, and that's the reason I don't care for him. And like I said, this story sounds like that kind of story where it's like, oh hey, the lights are going out. Guess we're all like fucking doomed because these monks found out all the names of God, which apparently what pissed him off, so he's turning off the universe. Okay.
Or it could be okay. You know, like the computer in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy that the mice were running. You know, now we have the answer. Okay, we can close down that part of the machine. Its job is done.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It just it feels like cheating.
Oh, huh? Von Rick says the reason in the story is, well, they believe that when they have listed all his names, and they reckon that there are about 9 billion of them, God's purpose will have been achieved.
Well, it doesn't help either, because it's like, okay, and his purpose was to have people figure out his names? The hell kind of god is this? I mean, this sounds like the kind of stuff you'd get from Loki.
I don't know. I don't know how God's mind works. I mean,
Well, but given that this is clearly a god that's designed for a work of fiction intentionally, I'm thinking someone knew how it worked, and it was Arthur C. Clarke, or are we still talking Asimov? I can't remember. They blend together.
oh, this is Clark, that
Okay,
from whom Von Rick is quoting now.
well, it still sounds goofy.
And
I mean, I just, I don't know. I hear the premise and I'm like, eh. It sounds like something someone would make up on the spur of the moment around a campfire.
well, I'm sure quite a few stories have come about that way.
Yeah,
Juliet
but I mean, without editing is what it sounds like.
and Julie mentions, Kate, you have not read enough Bradbury. I say that with respect. She does.
Okay. Every bit of Bradbury I've encountered has been a complete and total downer. I mean, I let's put it this way: after the first 5 or 6 tries, you start to think that's all you're gonna get.
Well, sometimes it's a good thing. I mean, that's why I keep going back to Vonnegut. You want to talk about writing downers, but that's why I like Vonnegut.
Why would you like a downer?
It's the way he frames it. It's the whole cynicism. It's sort of just, yeah, he understands my mind. You know, that sort of thing.
Okay, I don't know. I mean, no, I don't get it.
Yeah,
I
Von
don't know.
Rick. It's the 9 billion names of God impresses me as something like, hey, I've got an idea. Let me write this stuff down and maybe submit it. I mean, I've written shit like that. I used to try to write fiction. I was horrible at it. Um, yeah, Julie. Vonnegut has to be my favorite author of fiction. Really and truly.
Well, I don't know. I like people like Elizabeth Moon, Lois McMaster Bujold, Stephen Bruce. Haven't read R.A. Salvatore in a while. Let's see who else. Oh yeah, Nigel Findlay is pretty good. Liked Daniel Pinkwater a lot better when I was younger. Same with William Sleater, although he's still pretty good. Though why am I blanking here? I liked David Eddings a lot better in high school. Now that I read it, a lot like at this age, a lot of the characters seem very cliched and honestly at times sexist as fuck. So like the worst stereotypes, the screechy, catty, like horribly selfish girlfriend kind of thing,
Okay.
like super spoiled daughter of an emperor, and it just like after a while the books started getting so self-referential with the humor that it seemed forced more than good. So you can read the Belgariad, I'd skip the Malorian, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, Adam, you talk about long time. It has to be 50 years since I've read Verne.
Verne.
The Frenchman, Jules Verne.
Jules Verne.
I love doing this stuff to her.
Except it just makes you look goofy.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. Yeah, the one story of his that I did not like was the Begum's Fortune. Just
The what
didn't.
of the what now?
A story called The Begum's Fortune.
Beg. What the hell's a
Begum.
begoon?
I forget exactly what a Begum is. Let me look it up.
Well, okay. You know what? Just give me the big print easy reader version first.
Okay. It's a married Muslim woman, but the Begum left a fortune to I believe it was to a pair of competing people to design what each thought was the best world, the best society, that sort of thing. Um, and it was a good guy versus bad guy thing. It's definitely it is no voyage to the moon. Okay, definitely not.
Okay. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure I've ever said it on this show, but I've said it before. I'll say it again. If I ever had access to like utopian Star Trekian technology, I'd go into a holodeck, set it to Star Wars, and never leave.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, think about it. It's like if I have access to something that can make my fantasies become real, I mean, what the hell, Just go in and say, all right, here's my favorite bit of fiction. You can lose Jar Jar, but otherwise, make Star Wars for me, please. Oh, it's almost someone's feeding time. You've been bitching a strangely low amount by comparison to usual Columbia.
Yeah, I hadn't heard any complaints or anything like that, and it's only 4 minutes out from feeding. Yeah.
A little bit less than 3, according to my clock. I think I will go at 6 my time because A,
Okay.
feeding the cats, but 2, my mom does want me to call her back. So,
Well, that would probably be a good thing too, because I'm still recovering from that
bout of barfing.
interesting, yeah, that sort of thing. Again, I apologize. I really do. I didn't mean to make a scene or anything to that effect. It's just getting more and more. So I'm gonna have to be very careful about where I go and what I do. That's all.
Did they seriously make a Street Fighter style game out of Cobra Kai? Hey, Chihuahua. Yep, they did. It looks like Street Fighter, except it's based on the Karate Kid. Wow. That looks. Honestly, it might be good, it might be terrible, and I can't tell.
Moo.
Hate to say the last season of Cobra Kai started getting into the fan service way too much. They kept making reference to some of the even more obscure parts of the Karate Kid franchise. It's like, oh, you brought back Tamlin Tomita's character from Karate Kid 2. Okay, sure. Oh, look, Allie's back. Okay, sure. It just seemed like the first 2 seasons just sort of felt like it was its own thing, but the third season is just sort of an elbow in the ribs. Remember this? Huh? It's your childhood back on screen. It's like it didn't feel organic the way it did in the first 2 seasons. Hate to say.
Okay, then. So there was no carbon involved.
And I'm okay again. No.
Oh, bourgeois, bourgeois. I don't know.
Bourgeois.
Yes. Oh, that's just the way she goes, isn't it?
In Albuquerque.
Well, you took the left turn.
No, I was making reference to a Weird Al song.
Oh, okay.
Well, there's one part of his song Albuquerque where he actually goes, and that's just the way things go in Albuquerque. Anyway, so yeah. Well, it's the way you said it, it just brought it to mind, okay? Shut up, man. Oh, now recording. There's less than a minute to go, Columbia.
I don't know. Some people's kiddiness is
Hmm.
they just
And here's Zen being petted.
they just want their foods.
Yeah. Uh-oh, someone's attacking my arm. Oh no, whatever shall I do? Oh, and now he's slurping.
You may need that
Ow,
arm. You might want to protect it.
ow, with the little claws and the things and the ouching.
Oh my, oh my.
Oh, I gotta make like a baby. I'll catch you like the plague.
Okay, hon, you take care, and if I don't see you before then, see you Sunday, huh?
Yep.
Yay! Okay. Let me switch to camera 2 and let's see how this is working. Okay, I don't understand this thing. Why does it always change the settings around when I haven't touched it? I haven't done a damn thing to this thing, and it's changing the size of my screens and everything else. Oh, well, what are you going to do? But yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm still kind of recovering things myself. The tummy is still kind of upside down and backwards. So maybe what I'll end up doing is just kind of winding down a little bit. But let me put it to you this way. I want to thank everybody who's here. I want to thank everybody who's not here. You folks are amazing. You really are. I mean, okay, look. I don't want it to sound shallow. I don't want it to sound. I don't want it to sound forced. I don't want it to sound manufactured because it's not. This is real. You guys are amazing. You really are, and you keep bringing me back. And the more you guys keep liking this, the more I'm going to keep doing it. It's wonderful to feel appreciated. I think is the way they put it. The appreciation. Yes. And you guys do that for me. And I thank you. I thank you many much and extremely, and everything else. And okay, Adam, it was great to have you aboard. Please keep coming back. I mean, really, these things that we do are. We just keep doing the same sort of thing, and we just have fun doing it. And what can I tell you? And Julie, it's great to have you here, really. I have to show up at your place more often. I had made a note of one of your broadcasts. Is it tomorrow? Or was it yesterday? I forget. If it's tomorrow, I'll be there. If it was yesterday, I am sorry for not being there. And then, of course, there's good old Junk Shop, who is not here now, I know. But those of you who have not encountered Junk Shop at the Junk Shop Library, please look him up. It's got some great stuff going. And it's just too bad we don't have Amiga Nuts here doing the shilling. But, you know, what can I tell you? So I'm going to do the best I can to keep living until Sunday, when we will meet again. Oh, yay. And there we go. So to keep from umming and eyeing and whatever else you want to call it, thank you, thank you, thank you. And thanks a lot, folks. See you on the other side.